What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and apologize for the camera in advance. I'm having to use the phone as we have another. You probably already saw it. We had a premiere or a live stream or something here on the channel, and that's still exporting all of my footage. But I had to get this other news out today, so we'll just crank it out with the phone, man. So I've talked about the Diesel Emissions Reduction Act a few times, and I also talked about the president's press staff basically saying if it gets to his desk, he would veto it. Well, it seems that information has made its way to Congress because now a lot of you guys in California were calling this congressman in California and saying, hey, we absolutely 100% do not support this crap. You better not support this crap, or your ass is going to get primaried as soon as can be. Well, it looks like not just the sponsors or some of the sponsors of the bill, but other people are now coming out and saying, yeah, this is an unnecessary bill. We don't need to be spending our tax dollars to replace perfectly fine, reliable diesel engines that just cause more waste. There's now also different things that are being proposed concerning diesel exhaust fluid. Now, there's been studies, and there is plenty of them out there for you environmental nuts, that show that diesel exhaust fluid completely confuse and or hurt bees. Now, a lot of people would be like, well, screw the bees. I care more about climate change. Well, newsflash, if all of the bees all of a sudden got Alzheimer's and just went crazy, right? You wouldn't have any food. You wouldn't have any produce. A lot of the flowers wouldn't bloom. A lot of the trees wouldn't be bearing fruit because the bees actually pollinate a lot of that stuff. They carry a lot of that stuff around, outside of the fact that they create honey and all of those things. What I find interesting here is it's like when it comes to the environment, when it comes to caring about the planet, it only matters how they care about the planet if it fits their narrative. Isn't that interesting? I think it's interesting. But so on the Diesel Emissions Reduction Act, I don't think we're going to see it. I mean, we know that it passed in the Senate, a year and a half ago or whatever, never got taken up in the House. Now they're proposing it in the House. It would still have to go back to the Senate because it's a new Senate. But I don't think it's ever going to make it out of the House at this point, especially with what the president's press staff have said, saying that it would just get vetoed. They're not going to approve it. The EPA already freezing it at the beginning of the Lee Zeldin's term when he came in as administrator. He cut that out. So we have some positive stuff there. Now, a lot of you guys have been calling your individual congressmen about the Congressional Review Acts, and when are we going to finally shut down California from doing all of this crap? So there's so many different bills, there's so many different pieces of legislation outside of the Congressional Review Act, like 2 more today, I'll cover those tomorrow, that are all basically doing the same thing. We just need to get on a consensus, get one of these passed, and get it out the window. This is not difficult, right? This is common sense. It's not a hard thing to get done. So it will be interesting to see if we can get a consensus on one of these, whether it's the CRA. I know the EPA could do it right now. They could shut it down, but it's going to hold more weight. It won't get tied up in court if it's legislation that's signed into law. It'd be reviewed much quicker. You get what I'm saying? So whether it's a Congressional Review Act that just makes the rule not, plausible, they can't submit it anymore to the EPA with tailpipe emissions, or whether it's, an actual whole piece of legislation like the Transportation Freedom Act, the CARS Act, the Stop CARB Act. There's so many Freedom of Automotive Choice Act. There's so many different bills now that are pending. We just need one of those pieces of legislation to be done either in the Senate or the House, so y'all could Pass one in the Senate, pass one in the House, put them together, call it McDonald's, whatever you want to do, put it on the president's desk, get it signed so we can be done with it. I'm noticing a lot of stuff, a lot of comments online. I was looking over at Newsmax today, and then I was over at a couple other different websites, and they're saying, what is the holdup? What is the delay in getting the president's agenda through Congress? I feel like Congress is just kind of chilling, right? We got these people that are proposing these bills, but we're going to be rapidly approaching Easter break, and there's nothing getting done. So I know I'm not the only automotive YouTube channel that's talked about this. I know, shout out to Car Coach Reports, I know that she's talked about this as well. And a couple other reporters over at Newsmax have talked about this. What is the holdup for getting this done? We got the oil drilling and the ethane emissions, CRAs, and the tire stuff done like this. Took a week. It was in law, done. Rule deleted. Let's just get this done. Or is it that we have a bunch of people with R's next to their name that are also in the pockets of green energy? And they scream and yell about, oh, this is a green new scam, but they're getting paid by the green new scam. That's what I'm starting to think here. Because this is not looking, this should have been done when the tire stuff was done, when the methane stuff was done. This is not difficult. And we're not even asking for a ton. Like, can we first just shut down the California stuff first? Let's just do that. Can we get that done? Let's just tell CARB that they no longer have authority to do anything. Bye. You get no more funding. You get nothing. This is not a difficult thing. We're not asking to change the world here. We're just asking to have some common sense. We are seeing gas prices coming down. I have anyway, and I'm here in one of the most expensive states to buy fuel. And you know, with energy prices coming down, everything else gets cheaper. It's common sense. But I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about where we're at so far with all these emission bills? Do you think something will pass this week? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.